I've been with the company 20 years now, so I understand what we're facing. And one of the things that is hard for industry and manufacturing, with that workforce that's coming out, that is our best. So for us, we've had to look at different ways to replace that workforce. And as technology has grown, we have looked to the automation of equipment to bring that in. But now that brings another set of challenges for us, the technical skill to operate that equipment. And for now, it's a true thing. It's happening. If you're waiting to look now, it's too late. It's here.
We've estimated that about 11,000 employees we have at the site routinely. About 50% of those employees, excuse me, are eligible to retire in the next 5 years. So we're talking about replacing thousands of employees over the next 5 to 10 year period. Mr. Bennett mentioned some other things. You know, we have some unique requirements also that people need to be aware of that we're trying to get the word out. Many of our jobs, or most of our jobs, you have to pass a drug test, you have to have a security clearance. So in addition to being technically qualified and have the right experience, you have to also think ahead about how you're going to meet those other qualifications.
The Center for Energy Workforce Development does a study every year, national study looking at all sectors of the energy industry. Nuclear technicians are the oldest population in our country. The average age is between 53 and 62 years old.
Textron's story, I think, has been well discussed today. Our story is about growth, and the secondary concern would be retirement as well, as we see the baby boomers are retiring. When we look at it, retirement is hitting us also in the skilled trades. As I say, as we're exiting the first industrial revolution, as you think about it, and entering into a second industrial revolution. And the job skills of aerospace engineering and nuclear and power are associated with that first. Now it's this next generation here that we're looking at, so we need new talent.
Retirements, absolutely. My population, the average age is 49 years old. They are eligible for retirement at 55. What is the American dream? It is to get to that point where you can retire and enjoy. So we're faced with that, and we're all kind of competing for that same talent. The chemical industry is perceived as polluters to the air, waters, whatever, and nothing can be further from the truth. We're very conscientious businesses. I can't speak to the past 30 years ago, but we're highly regulated and very responsible. So does that impact interest? Perhaps.
We're in Augusta, right? It's golf. It's the first top of mind. It's easy go as you think about it. And so obviously we're looked at very favorably locally, which is good. But our business is changing. Well over 50% of the golfers are baby boomers. So they're a majority of the spend today. We know that Generation X, the millennials, et cetera, are spending less in that sport. So we're challenged to try to attract them to not only our business to work, but also to our products.
When you ask students, do you know anybody that works in a nuclear power plant? They all mention Homer Simpson. And I think that's one of the perception issues. Today's students want to work in an industry where they're helping somebody. So they immediately think of healthcare. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a teacher. And we're breaking this perception. You can help all those industries if you come work for the electric company, because we power you all.
The nuclear industry is not seen as a growing industry and hasn't for quite a few years. We haven't built many nuclear power plants, so the number of nuclear engineers coming out of college is dwindled, I believe. So what we can offer is at least in our region, longevity. Many people who come to work at the Savannah River site know they have a job there for a long time. And it's also a high-paying industry. Even without a 4-year degree, entry jobs at the Savannah River site can be $30,000 to $40,000 a year. Our average pay is over $80,000 a year, and couple that with the longevity of employment, I think is a good opportunity.
We do tend to have a outlook from other people that it's dirty, it's nasty, from the students or the children that come through the plant. We have tried to change that story there in Fairfax for the school system. I've been working very close with them and bringing students in to tour the plant. It's very clean, and the types of jobs we have there are jobs that they are studying as far as math, the reading, and so forth. And we pay very well for entry level. We're at the 35 to 40,000 annually and go on up. But we have from the engineers right on down to the technical in maintenance, where it used to be general maintenance in a factory. No, I look for high tech that understand all the runnings of these computers and so forth.
Yeah, I would say our biggest challenge is in the technical area, science and engineering. When we are able to get qualified engineers, the market out there is very competitive, and one of our challenges is retaining those once we get them trained.
I've seen students graduate with college degrees 2 and 4, come to work in the industry, and fail out within their first year because they don't have a work ethic. I've seen really good students that are really poor interviewers and do not know what to expect. So even though they may have been a really great candidate, they can't get in the door.
We've been steadily growing our workforce. My colleague Gia Hunters in the back has been working pretty aggressively to fill engineering spots, machining spots, factory floor, so we need everything.
R&D, lab tech, which biology, chemistry, engineering, logistics, chemical operations, crafts. Those crafts are highly technical roles and responsibilities that compensate extremely well. Interestingly, there's a lot of folks who are degreed, history majors, others, that then become chemical operators because they can make $60,000 close to being right out the gate. Many of the crafts positions coming right out of high school begin to specialize welding, things of that nature. These individuals could make $100,000.
Statistics show us that STEM and females are losing that interest early on. So we go back into middle school. We start middle school programs that support 6th, 7th, 8th grade girls to feed into that energy pathway, to feed into the Augusta Tech's NET program. So you have to get a very holistic picture of what you're going to do in your pipeline. You have to have the support to do it over long term. Hiring manager wants that ready now person. Why is it important that I'm in talking to a 5th grade class? We have to help them see the connection.
The Columbia County Chamber of Commerce, for us, for Textron, it's been a great partner in getting our voice into the community through the Workforce and Education Committee. They had started some programs, Principals for a Day. So many business leaders from Columbia County go to the 38-plus schools in the county are a principal for a day. They get to walk in the principal's shoes. It's a way for businesses to experience what the educators are experiencing. We also have teachers of business. Last month, we brought in teachers from the middle school STEM program. That was a focus for this year. And they toured my factory, as well as John Deere and others in the region. So we're engaged there. And then we brought students in business. We brought the students in. But probably the most engaging part that we're starting to venture into is really partnering with the middle schools here for STEM.
We worked with local colleges and universities. We provided $1 million a year over the last 5 years, really to focus the curricula on the work skills that we're going to need in the future at the site. That's just come to an end, been very successful in educating a number of students through that program. We're just getting ready to kick off another 5-year grant. And then really over this 5-year period, we're hoping to demonstrate the actual hiring through this process. So we've We kind of built the infrastructure to do the outreach and the training, and now over this next 5 years, we want to really focus on getting the students hired.
Being 200 employees locally, we're more dependent on the process and the systems. So because we can't necessarily have the refunds or the resources, the funds or the resources, not refunds, but there's a different type of challenge for us. And that's why this type of meeting and discussion where the collaboration comes together and provides us those resources is so critical.